there are some fans that believe in Mosimane and say that he deserved a better chance. But the problem here in Egypt, the fans are very demanding. They take Ahly winning for granted. Ahly is the biggest team in Africa, in Egypt, and winning the league, winning the CAF Champions League is a must. So they are used to doing this. They wanted the next level, that Al Ahly plays the best football in Egypt and play the best football in Africa. They didn't like the way Mosimane especially won in Africa. He just won the games, knew how to win the games, but didn't play good football. That's something Al Ahly fans don't like. They are used to the days of Manuel José, the golden generation of Al Ahly with Mohamed Abu Trika and Mohamed Barakat and Ahmad Mitad, and they used to crush their opponents, not just win. You remember the famous game against Zamalek winning 6-1. They are used to crushing the Tunisian and the Moroccan teams in their turf. This is something that didn't happen with Mosimane. He used to get results, knew how to win away even or get the draw that is needed, but not playing the beautiful games that the fans expected. This is happening now with Koller. As Ahly is playing beautiful attacking football, something that the fans appreciate, and they appreciate that he got them back on the top of the league after 2 years as Zamalek was winning, and Zamalek was playing much better, even if Al Ahly has won against Zamalek in the Cairo derby, but still Zamalek was always the team that produced the better football under Josvaldo Pereira, the coach that has came back and then he was rehired and now he was axed. But talking about Al Ahly, Pereira was always looked upon as the better coach than Mosimane because he made his team play a very good football. That's something the Egyptian fans really appreciate. Even if you talk about the national team, when Egypt reached the World Cup after a long absence with Hector Cooper, fans didn't appreciate this. They wanted the team to play football. They said we had Mohamed Salah. We had the best player in the world. We should play much better football. Now they are appreciating what Vitoria is doing because the team is playing good football. They won against Malawi 4-0 away and produced very good football at a very bad field. So returning to Al Ahly, that's what the fans of Al Ahly want. Not just winning even trophies, but winning them with style. Something Koller is recently doing. Yes, the results in Africa, maybe he has been struggling a little. He's not used to the atmosphere and such competitions yet, but he's doing what is needed. He has the chance to go through the group. And we know, as we said, when Al Ahly reaches the quarterfinals, he's a totally different team and produces really different atmosphere and way of playing. So let's see. And of course, the league, as we said, Al Ahly is a very comfortable position and playing the football that the fans yield for. Since that game against Orlando Pirates in 2013 when they won the CAF Champions League, and the Ahly has struggled a lot against South African teams, especially Mamelodi Sundowns. This team has become an obstacle for Al Ahly in the last years. A big results, big defeats, 5-0, and the last one another 5. It became a very tough game mentally for the fans. They are always afraid to play in South Africa against Mamelodi, especially because when the South African team visits Egypt, they can be defeated. They don't appear such a very strong team, but the atmosphere, the surroundings in South Africa became very exhausting for the Ahly players playing there, especially playing at the morning. They are not used to that here in Egypt. They are used to play always at night, which is something that makes the players more comfortable playing in the sun and the atmosphere and the fans. They are not used to play against such passionate and vivid fans like they are in South Africa. Along the years, the last years, the South African team has developed very much. They play very modernized football, not just the way we are used to teams from South Africa or West African teams and South African teams in general in the last years. They were used to play long vertical balls. No, Mamelodi Sundowns play very good football. They can be even compared to the tiki-taka of some of the European teams. That's something that the Ahly team is not used to from African teams. especially from the North African teams from Morocco or Tunisia, where the game is built on the tackles and the physical part of football. So when they play against such an opponent which plays football, that becomes a struggle for them. Like we saw in the Club World Cup, they are good against physical teams, but when they play an opponent which is good with football, there is always a struggle, like Al Hilal or even Real Madrid in that game. They need to defeat Al Hilal, especially after the first game in Sudan where they lost. Now the controversy is not about the game itself, but about the attendance of the fans. You know, in Egypt, in the last years after the revolution, the number of fans were reduced or none. But in this game, Al Ahly got the okay from the authorities for 50,000 fans to attend. That's a new thing for like the last 10 years. Only the national team had such numbers of fans attending. Al Hilal said this is not fair, that our game was played without fans, and we are afraid for our security, and we are afraid for our fans that they don't have the right places to sit in the stadium. But Al Ahly responded that they will have a special place in the stands, and they are very welcome to attend and to cheer for their team. It's really, really tense right now between Al Ahly and Al Hilal. It's not a football game anymore. It's about who is gonna control the atmosphere even before the game. This is what the Ahly does very good along the years. As you said, when their back is against the wall, they know how to manipulate all the surroundings for themselves, how to make the opponent feel like the Ahly is the best team. They are the best not only in this game, but in Africa and even the world. We see the authorities of the Ahly representatives talking about we have the biggest fan base in the world, not just in Egypt or Africa, putting a lot of huge pressure on Al Hilal. We know that the game needs to be won by the Ahly. Ahly right now is not in the best form, even if they are in the first place in Egypt, with a huge difference, with a lot of matches that haven't been played, especially that Zamalek is out of the competition in Africa or in Egypt. This gives Al Ahly a lot of freedom to play the way they want, even if they're not playing at the highest levels. But the coach, Marcel Koller, is doing a decent job until now, better than his predecessors. The fans is supporting him, and this is very, very important when you talk about Al Ahly. We're talking about Al Ahly and CAF Champions League. They are like Real Madrid in the Champions League. They know what they are doing. Once they go to the quarterfinals, they are playing their game. They know how to deal very well with such tournament. So they remain the number one contender, even if in terms of play they are not the best. Teams for Morocco, like Wydad, are playing much better. Other teams also has impressed in this tournament, but still Al Ahly remains Al Ahly in such games. The problem remains that players here always have the dream to play for Al Ahly and Al Zamalek, and when they realize this dream, it's difficult to go abroad through these two teams because they demand a lot of money to sell their players. They want a huge profit. Sometimes it's not even the right numbers when you talk about a player playing in Egypt and a team comes to buy him. You see numbers asked like 5 million euros. That's a very, very big number for a European team. It happened with Mustafa Mohamed when he was having an offer from France to go to Bordeaux from Zamalek, and President Murtada Mansour asked for 5 million. So it failed. And at the end, he went to Galatasaray, and he's now playing for Nantes. But that's always the problem with the Ahly and Zamalek. They refuse to let their players go, especially the young ones. They want the youngsters to stay, and when the offers arrive, they refuse it. But the other teams, a team like Al Muqawwalun Al Arab, where Mohamed Salah has started, always leaves the chance for the players to go abroad. It happened with Salah, it happened with Mohamed Al Nenni. They don't mind selling their players, and this is something that is developing with other teams, but remains an issue with Al Ahly and Al Zamalek.